What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Jammin with J Money, man. We back trying to get some cash. It's Tuesday, but we still trying to get to it. What's up, Jordan? Everything good with you?
Yeah, not bad, man. How about I'm doing all right after yesterday. Was a little bit down on our official first half totals for yesterday. Missed both of those. That was a little frustrating, but ended up jumping in on the Pacers last minute last night as soon as I heard Brogdon and Sabonis was in, like we talked about. So ended up getting some money there. Told you about before the show. I had a nice little money line parlay too on the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Thunder last night. So pretty even day, actually. Just a tad ahead yesterday after all of that, but overall not bad, not good, but definitely felt better than the last few days at the end last week though. So we're starting to turn it around a little bit. How about you? How'd you end up yesterday?
Yeah, I'm with you. Man, as soon as they announced Brogdon in, I had to hop on the pace as well, man, which I told people, what I'm saying? A lot of those injuries, I'll tell you the key injuries. If somebody's in or out, what I'm saying? Then I'm fading them. We told you that the Blazers, there's no way in hell they should have been laying 10 yesterday. So if you cashed it with the Hornets, what I'm saying? Good job with that. Orlando late, if you could have got on there once you see that, I mean, I tell you, once Gordon and Augustine was ruled in, if you hopped on Orlando, you got the cash in that one. Came down to the wire, but the final score is the only thing that matters. The Cavs came out and played well in the first half yesterday versus the Lakers. Actually took a 1 point lead into halftime, and then get absolutely destroyed in the second half. Got outscored 81-51 in the second half. So you just got annihilated. LeBron started going in on this old team. I was watching that game in the fourth quarter. I mean, he went on a little run. He started to hit threes. They gave up 44 points in that fourth quarter. Man, it'd be interesting to see how the. I actually wish that the Cavs burned more energy down the stretch there. You know what I'm saying? And gave it their all for four quarters. That way they would have a huge letdown tonight. But it was actually the opposite. I mean, they played out, came out in the first half high. Second half was just they absolutely fell asleep at the wheel. Man, OKC got it done versus the Timberwolves. Timberwolves seemed like they wanted to come to play in the first half. Then the second quarter, OKC just took the momentum, and then once in that third quarter, they outscored them 29-19. The game was over from the end, man. So Timberwolves tried to stay close, but and CP3 was in that game as well with his shirt untucked. The refs didn't say anything, but I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. But yeah, the Pacers get it done versus the 76ers. Pretty much had to pull away in that fourth quarter. It was tiff and tat all game. And actually, I mean, they was down with 9 points at the half. I was like, damn, man, them boys, the Sixers came to play today, but they did exactly what they did in the Mavs. They gave up a huge third quarter. I knew once the Pacers got their momentum there that they wouldn't finna come out there playing in that fourth quarter. Got the job done for us, man. And the Pelicans still got the cash, even with Ingram out. And it's kind of tough if you had that under as well, man. It's tough, bro. When it's went into overtime, the under was the right side in that game, man. Then we're going to overtime, and then you know what I'm saying, it cashed the over ended up cashing. Obviously, with the Pelicans, you knew once they go to overtime, then the under was toast, man. But the Pelicans still get it done, even without Ingram, without Holiday, without Favors. So the Pistons are just in a free fall. I had people asking about the Pistons. I was like, "Well, you think the Pistons ever since Ingram out?" I said it's still Pelicans or none for me, man. I'm not looking to bet on the Pistons, so I hope I saved my guy some money with that one yesterday, man, because he showed asked me, "You think the Pistons will play?" Well, I told him, man, look, I still wouldn't bet the Pistons. He went Ingram out, and you see what happened. The Pelicans still end up getting the cash, man. But let's get to the card today, man. I can't say not a lot that I like on the board. Just six game card today. I'm not a big fan of it whatsoever, man. I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. We got the first game of the day. We got the Suns and the Hawks here. I do know that Rubio is most likely going to be out here for the Suns. They hadn't really been playing well lately at the house or on the road. This Suns team. I know that the Hawks only have 8 wins on the season. Their offense looks absolutely terrible with Trae Young out. He should be back in the lineup today. He is probable. Him and Hunter are going to be back in the lineup today. Still, you still got Fernando out, and Alex Len is going to sit out as well, which he doesn't. He's one of those big guys that doesn't play a whole lot of defense, man. So they could actually help the Hawks. Here you'll see obviously more Damian Jones and John Collins. So it'll be interesting to see. I can't say these two teams were, for the past few years, they've been the same, you know what I'm saying, bottom dweller type teams. The Suns seem to be a little bit, obviously, you know what I'm saying, a couple of breadths ahead of the Hawks here, but still on the road here. I'm not sure that the Suns should be laying points. They're 0-4 ATS the last 4 games, even though they've won the last 2 games. They just seem to be barely winning, or it's tough for them to hold a lead. They'll come out hot second half. They just kind of let teams hang around, man. Be interesting to see if the Hawks, if this is a winnable game game for them here. I can't say if you like the Hawks here, then you might as well take them on the money line. I don't think it'll come within 3 points. You like the Hawks here, you might have to go ahead and take them. I mean, you think that the Hawks are going to win? Put it like that. If you like the Hawks here, what you got for me, Jordan? You make a play on this game? Is the over to play in this spot?
I don't. I mean, if it is, it was back when the total was 5 points lower than it is currently right now, because it's been steaming like crazy ever since it opened. And I think that's partially because it was looking like Ricky Rubio is gonna sit out. Obviously, he's back in Phoenix, I think, for the birth of his child. So their defense actually loses a little bit with him off the court, and they still have some ball handlers. But yeah, that'd be the play if you got in early. But now, especially when with Trae Young and Hunter ruled in, that the spread steamed down 2 points as well from 5 to 3. So I mean, if you got on this early, yeah, I think you probably feel pretty good about it. But now, staring at it right now, I think it's a stay away spot for me. It's really hard for me to trust Phoenix when I know that Rubio is not going to be in the game, though, because I think that is a pretty underrated loss for them tonight. And with Atlanta fully healthy, at home, feeling good, maybe knocking down some shots. Yeah, it's just I could see this game going either way, so I'm probably going to stay away.
Exactly. Like I say, Suns 0-4 ATS last 4 games. 0-4 ATS last 4 is a favorite as well, man. And look, tricky stats, some shit I always like to look at, man. 0-5 ATS in their last 5 Tuesday games. So I know it's a little tricky trend, but when they got that offer right there, it's something to pay attention to. I mean, they just don't play well on Tuesdays. It is what last 5 games they play on Tuesday, they ain't covered the spread. So I mean, it sounds pretty crazy, but when they get to like the Mondays and weekends, shit like this, something to look at, man. The Hawks, they could be a live dog here, man. It's definitely gonna be because you're right. I mean, they play totally different without Rubio, in my opinion. I know they've been having him. I think that's gonna be a little underrated injury out, and the line will probably move once again once he's officially ruled out. But and that's crazy how that shit happened. The Hawks lost 4 straight games. You know what I'm saying? Come back to the house after 2 road losses. They got Trae Young back here. It'd be interesting. The game versus Washington when he was in, he didn't look right, man. Trae Young did not look right whatsoever. I think he was like 2 for 8 from the 3-point line. He did not have a good shooting night whatsoever, man. It looked like he was a little banged up there, man. You got anything on this game, Junior? The Hawks versus Suns?
No, earlier when I was writing the column for SBR.com, I didn't know who was going to be in for Atlanta. Now that Trae Young's in, it's a stay away for me. Just like Jordan said, I don't know what you're going to get from Phoenix or Ricky Rubio, and I'm definitely not going to lay points with them on the road right now. They're a super inconsistent team. They haven't covered the last 4 games ATS. They've only been road favorites 4 times the entire season. They're 2-2 ATS as road favorites, but the last time they won a road game as favorites was back like the beginning of December or something like that. It was a really long time ago. The one before that was like the first week of the season. So if you're going to put your money on the Suns on the road as favorites, it's a coin flip at this point. And with Trae Young back in the lineup, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're gonna still
you'd have to take
problems.
The points with Atlanta at home at this point, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm telling the people right now is I can only look towards Atlanta here. I mean, because I hadn't been a fan of the Suns at the house. They haven't been covering spreads at the house. Now they're going on a road without their starting point guard who, you know what I'm saying, it means a lot to their team. We know earlier in the year when he went out, the Suns looked totally different. Now you're going to probably have a Kobo in there running the point guard coming to the starting lineup. That's if they don't want to throw things off too much. I mean, you could have Booker at the starting point guard, but just the offense just isn't the same. Then, you know what I'm saying, when he has to bring the ball to the court, he kind of works better off the ball. You know what I'm saying, coming off those screens, getting easy buckets, man. So it's crazy to say, but I actually would lean towards the Hawks here. I probably would. Like I say, man, I can't stand this card, man. I like sometimes you can, you know what I'm saying, force stuff, but me lately, man, I hadn't been forced. I guess if I was forcing things, I would take the Hawks here plus the 3, but I couldn't do it with a lot of confidence. It's tough. I just couldn't. But the way the Suns been playing, I could only look towards the Hawks, man. I could. Let's get to the next game. We got the Jazz versus the Nets here, man. The Jazz have won 14 of their last 15 games, man. I'm not stepping in front of them right now. They went in the last game was kind of crazy. I'm like, damn, they sitting Donovan Mitchell. They don't care about this game, and they still went out there and smacked the Wizards with ease. I think won by 11 points. I know for a little while it was close, but I mean they was just like, man, we could sit Mitchell here, sit our best player by far. I mean, we already got Conley out. We sit our best offensive player out by far. and we still finna go and smack this team. They don't play no defense, man, and they did it with ease. That just shows you how Clarkson is coming in, how well he's looking for the Jazz. But they're just a bowling ball right now, man. They 9-1 ATS last 10 as well. I know we were doing a lot of talk about they weren't playing so well on the road. They balling right now, no matter where they playing at. We know this is the second game since Kyrie came back. First game could give him a huge split, and that was versus the Hawks without Trae Young. I mean, obviously he looked good versus a team that doesn't play defense without their best player. Now we're gonna see what them boys look like. Are the Nets really back? I'm not looking at the Nets. I still can't stand this point. I know they covered their past few games, but we'll see, man. How I need to see, you know what I'm saying, more of them with Kyrie. Obviously, it's a bit of a unknown right now, just one game back. Now he's going up against a damn good defensive team. I'm only looking towards I'm not betting against them until they go on like a little losing streak right now. They are rolling right now. What you got on this game, Junior?
This is a definitely watch and learn game for me. This is to me, this is gonna tell me a lot about what Brooklyn's gonna look like moving forward, right? Because just like you said, I want to be encouraged by the fact that Kyrie came back and they held the Hawks to 86 points, but they didn't have Trae Young, so you don't really know what that result means. The Hawks are just not a good team. Now, if Brooklyn comes out tonight and keeps playing the type of defense they've been playing since Kyrie's been out, maybe you might have something, because remember, they got LeVert now coming off the bench. They seem to be starting Dinwiddie with Kyrie. Kyrie only played 20 minutes last game. You got to figure he's probably going to play at least like 25 this game. In terms of who I would pick as a side, I mean, honestly, you just can't. 3.5 seems pretty cheap for a team that's won so many games, 14 out of the last 15, like you said, and you're only laying 3.5. It seems kind of cheap to me, honestly, but I'd rather just kind of sit back and watch what's going to happen. I just don't feel confident right now betting against this Brooklyn team now that they got their best player back. I'm just not really sure who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and I see my guy in the chat saying "Revenge Game Jay." I don't use it every time, man. It is a revenge game. The Jazz barely beat the Nets, and that's really when the Nets weren't playing it well. And you could argue that the Jazz weren't playing well at that time either. This was back in November. The Jazz beat them by 5 at the house. And it does seem pretty cheap, but you have to remember that the Jazz are away. You know what I'm saying? That 3.5. I mean, they're favored on the road for a reason, and that's the only way with me in this game, man, the only way I could bet on the side and have confidence would be with the Jazz. The Nets could be the play. They could get it out, but it wouldn't be a confident play for me, man. I like having strong confidence in my plays. Like, if I lose, then I'm surprised. You know what I'm saying? If the Nets win this game or stay close, I can't say I will be surprised, man. I got to see them do it, though. Like I say, like Junior said, Kyrie came back in last game. I think he went, like 10 for 11. He had a good shoot night, but like I say, it was against the Hawks, though. It was against the Hawks. So what you got in this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I agree with you guys when it comes to the spread at the least in this game. I think this is one you got to stay away from because it's very viable that either team could win and cover this game. So I think it's definitely one you got to watch and learn for sure. I think you're definitely on the right track in that one. I think for the total though, however, this is my lone official play today, by the way. I got the over in the first half at 107.5. Steamed up now 108.5, 109 at some of the books right now, and I think that people are starting to realize that the more Kyrie Irving we see, like Junior was talking about, potentially the worse the Brooklyn defense could be, and definitely the faster pace they're going to play. They play much faster with Kyrie Irving on the floor. I think that's going to continue as he continues to get ramped back up in his minutes limit. I don't think he's going to play, like Junior said, I don't think he's going to play more than 25, 26 minutes tonight. That's going to be meaningful, especially in the first half if he's in the game and is running up and down the court on this Jazz team that has the best first half offensive rating in the league in the last 5 games and probably even longer than that, to be honest, over this win streak. They're averaging about 126 points per 100 possessions in the first half of their last 5, averaging almost 62 points during that stretch. And yeah, they've had some easy games. They played, New York, Charlotte, and Washington their last 3. So maybe that is a little bit inflated. But at the same time, I think their offense is good enough to beat down this Brooklyn defense, especially in the first half here, where they tend to play faster as well. Also, as Utah plays about a possession per 48 minutes faster in the first half on the road as they do at home. So they're speeding up. Kyrie's back. He's speeding things up, possibly letting the defense down. We know Utah's defense is a little bit worse on the road than it is at home. I think it's all just kind of colliding here we could see a really fast start. I've been doing this a little bit with Utah on the road lately. It's tended to work out pretty well. It has, at least in the last two, where they've scored 128 and 127 in the last two road games. So I think they do it again here. I could see that. I don't think they're going to drop 130 on Brooklyn's defense because they're way better than what Washington and New Orleans defense is. But I do think 58, 60 points in the first half is not out of reach for this Jazz team. That's the case. I think 107.5 is easy money on the over.
Yeah, and that total got steamed up too, man. Opened at 216.5. It's 221 out there, 221.5 out there. Other than that, 222s across the board, man. Heritage already got 222.5. So if you like that over, damn, you might have missed it. It's like that Suns game, man. It got steamed up 6 points. It almost get to the point where, and it's tough to go against Markham, but you almost get to the point where it's almost giving you value, you know what I'm saying, on the other side. But I'm not a huge total guy, so I'm not the one. That's my guy Jordan there. He's saying he liked the first half over, so right with my guy Jordan in that spot. Man, let's get to the next game. We got the Rockets versus Memphis, one of the most intriguing games in my opinion tonight. I know that so we had some key injuries here for the Grizzlies in this spot. I know that let's see. Brandon Clark went through the shooting round. Jay Crowder went through shooting round as well, and Kyle Anderson. I know those were big three. Not really Kyle Anderson, but Crowder and Clark. Those are two, you know what I'm saying, huge rotational guys for the Grizzlies. They're still officially game time decision. Be interesting to see if they're going to play. We know that Westbrook is out for sure for the Rockets. The Grizzlies have been playing phenomenal ball here lately. I can't say. And it's tough because I don't want to step in front of them. I don't think that they're this good. I do think that they're overachieving. They have been kind of sort of playing some cupcakes other than that Spurs win. The Spurs win was real because, the Spurs have been playing really well lately, and a lot of people thought the Spurs were going to come in there and, you know what I'm saying, beat the Grizzlies again. They said, no, you know what I'm saying, we are forced to be reckoned with right now. They won 5 straight games, covered all 5 of those games as well. They put 140 on the Clippers over there, you know what I'm saying, in their house. So the Grizzlies are not to be stepped in front of right now. I was a little interested to see that. I know that the Rockets are still the Rockets, but they land 5.5 on the road without Westbrook. I know they was laying 7. They was laying 7 in Atlanta to the Hawks. Now they laying 5 to the Grizzlies. I ain't really sure about that one. They just went and smacked the Timberwolves by 30 points. That was at full strength. No real look ahead. They do have a game tomorrow, but it's against the Blazers. I don't really feel that at the house. I don't really feel like that's a look ahead. You are stepping out on the road here, you know what I'm saying, for one game, then going back to the house. They having 3 straight home games. So be interesting to see. It's tough, man, because the Grizzlies are tough to step in front of right now. And they do have 3 big injuries. If Clark or Crowder don't play, that's going to be a huge miss. Grizzlies are one of those type teams that they need everybody for them to stay in to be an active dog. Those injuries are big to me, man. It's tough, but it's crazy to say I actually am leaning towards the Rockets here. I know that they're a better team. I know that they're better than the Grizzlies. But the Rockets are 0-4 ATS the last 4 road games. It's tough to lay points with them. I was on Atlanta there. I know we got lucky there with a late basket, but Atlanta only lost that game by 7. You let Atlanta keep into it, you know what I'm saying, stay in it. The Grizzlies they're a live dog in this spot, man. I think the Grizzlies been overachieving, man. That's why I hadn't really been betting on them a lot. I know I probably missed out money, but I think any night they can get blown out, man. This is a young team. We'll see tonight. What you got, Jordan? You riding with the Grizzlies tonight?
I am. I'm going to be watching the Crowder news especially, but also Clark pretty much to the same extent very closely tonight. Because if those two play, I think I am going to jump in on the Grizz taking points here at home. There's absolutely no reason to trust the Rockets without Russ Westbrook here on the road against a team that's been playing their best basketball this season. And I was high on the Grizzlies before the season started, and they obviously kind of went through a stretch where some of their guys were injured and everything, and they were kind of underachieving a little bit. They still can't play a lick of defense, but their offense is looking extremely good right now, and they have a ton of options, and they're extremely deep, and they have a lot of shooting. That's not a type of team that I don't think is worthy of or should be taking as many as 5 points at home against a team that perpetually underachieves on the road. Their defense isn't as good on the road, the Houston that is, and they're missing one of their best players. It is going to take James Harden going for 40+ tonight for him to cover. And if that's what you want to bet on, then why don't you just make a prop play on it and not take the spread? Because that's essentially what you're betting on here. Because if he has any resemblance of a bad game or goes for 30 or less, the Grizzlies are going to win this game outright. So especially if they have all their players available, because Crowder is extremely valuable on both ends of the court, and Clark has been a very good backup center for this team and power forward as well on the defensive end. So that's a lot of defense that for a team that already doesn't play a whole lot of defense for the Grizzlies. So I am watching those two injuries very closely tonight because I do think 5 is too much right now. I haven't gotten there yet because of those two injuries, though. That's the one thing holding me back.
Exactly. And the Rockets early this season, November 4th, I know, like I say, again, beginning of the season, they went and won 107 to 100. But I mean, the Grizzlies weren't playing, and it was the same thing. They were laying 5.5 in this spot. Just real quick, I got to see if Westbrook was in that game, man, because it's pretty much the same spread. It's pretty not. So Westbrook was not in that game, man. Rest was so they laying the exact same thing they did. They do got Capella back. It'd be interesting. And Harden went for 44 in that game as well. They had absolute no answer for him, and that's the thing that gets me. They want to run up and down. They need to, but like this, the team that's facing the Grizzlies need to hit their shots. And I'm still not a big fan of Jaren Jackson taking all those threes. I'm not a big fan of. If you hit them, that's one thing. But if you're not hitting them at a high clip, bro, you at some point you got to realize, you know what I'm saying, this ain't my thing, man. So, but I know that's the new age NBA. The big man, they going, you know what I'm saying, keep shooting them. Like you say, the Crowder and Clark off the bench are huge pieces for the Rockets. For the Grizzlies there. But if the Rockets hitting their shots, man, the Grizzlies just don't. I don't know. It takes a game for them to really get up and play defensively. But Harden put up 44 on them boys last time, man. It'll be interesting to see. But the Grizz are playing a lot better basketball right now. I can't say right now it's tough because I'm leaning towards the Grizz, but I know that the Rockets are the better team. If they come out hitting their shots, this one could get ugly, man. It really could, man. I'm just not high on Grizzlies. I'm not. And I know that they've been playing well. I'm not high on the Grizzlies. I'm not. It could probably get in the way for me sometimes, but I'm probably not taking them here. And I think that somebody might be out in this fight. If all three of them are questionable, one of them probably sitting out here. Be interesting. You're going to see the line move, though. And it's down to 4.5 at Bookmaker. You know what I'm saying? So money coming in on the Grizzlies here. But I can't say with those injuries in or out, the line is definitely going to move. But doesn't look like any major injuries for the Rockets other than Westbrook being out. So what you got on this game, Junior?
I'm just waiting for the injuries, like Jordan said, but I want to touch on something you said. The reason Jaren Jackson shoots so many threes, it just, in my opinion, is they kind of put him in that Gasol role, and he's actually their best 3-point shooter, though. I know he's been kind of cold lately, but shooting 42% from three for a power forward, that's crazy, and he takes the most threes on the team. So we'll see. Like, he could do it in college, so I'm not surprised he's doing it in the NBA. That being said, they're not talented enough as a team to be out not two starters, but two guys that play a lot, play 25, 30 plus minutes. So definitely to see if those guys are healthy. I'm definitely not laying points with Houston, though, on the road. They're 9-11 ATS on the road. They're 19-19 ATS overall. I just don't like them on the road at all. And the Grizzlies in their last 5 games are averaging 127 points a game. I wouldn't step in front of that. I would lay the points with the Grizzlies or stay away from this game.
Exactly. Grizzlies number 1 in pace. Rockets are tied for 3rd in pace in the last 5 games. So you can see why this total opened up at 238, went to 240.5. But the Rockets been playing some defense as well. They're 5th in defense the last 5 games, and the Grizzlies then rose to 11th in the league in defense. So it's kind of crazy to see. Be interesting to see if which one going to try to, you know what I'm saying, if the Rockets will try to slow it down without Westbrook. I think they play a little bit slower without Westbrook. He likes to run and gun. He know he can't shoot, so he got to get to the hole. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Harden kind of slow ball. He trying to hit you with that mix and move real quick, step back 3. As I always say, it's Harden getting his foul calls. What's up?
I want to ask you about, and you and Jordan, what you guys think of this total, though? This total is pretty high, like 241 at some places right now.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. But it's conflicting, though, because, I mean, both teams been playing defense lately. But the pace is still there. They still running at a fast pace. But like I say, I don't think that the Rockets go at the same pace with Westbrook. What you got, Jordan, on the total?
Yeah, it's tough because my first instinct is to obviously bet the under anytime there's a total of 240 points. It's just a ton of points. And you're betting on essentially 4 hot quarters in a row from these two teams. But Jay was just mentioning it, man, like the pace of this game is going to be like 105, 106 with the way these two teams have been playing lately. So it's not just that you're betting against them, having a cold quarter here or there. You're betting on them like not like having any shots outside of the first 10 seconds of the shot clock too. That's a lot of possessions. So that's the only thing that worries me about the under here. I was also going to go back though and say that like Houston's been playing really good defense, but without Russ Westbrook, I hate to say it, I hate to put it this way, but I mean, just jerseys behind me. Like, who in the hell stops John Moran on Houston? Like, it's not going to be Harden. It's probably not going to be Eric Gordon. It's probably not going to be Ben McLemore. Like Austin Rivers. Like, no, they have nobody to guard this kid tonight. I mean, he could legitimately just go nuts on them and have an easy double and be hitting his threes. Like I just really can't see Houston's defense living up to what they've been doing even though they have been pretty impressive over the last 5 games. That's the other thing that kind of scares me about the under here.
Exactly, and like I say, you named it. Morant and Austin Rivers isn't a bad. He isn't a bad defender, but he's not a starter though. So it's tougher to say that he's gonna be out there guarding. And like you say, nobody really to stop Morant, nobody really to stop Harden. It's tough, man. Them totals can be real fickle. Me personally, I stay away from. I get a better feel. And last year I was playing a lot of totals. This year I just seem to get a better feel, or I kind of caused myself to be more sharper with the full game sides, man. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going. Been working out for me. So let's get to the next game, man. Yeah, at the end of the day, still need to see what's up with a couple of big injuries. Crowder, Kyle Anderson, nobody worry about him. Crowder and Brandon Clark, I mean, a huge deal to the Grizzlies. I'm telling you this. Crowder is their start. He's pretty much he's damn near like their Kelly Oubre type. You know what I'm saying? He's their heart and soul guy. Brandon Clark is pretty much their power forward or center, their main rebound, defensive guy off the bench. You know what I'm saying? So be interesting to see, man. One of those guys out, it's gonna make it better for the Rockets. Everybody in, though, I can't say full strength. The Grizzlies probably plus the 5. You gotta look. You have to, bro. You have to, man. Let's get to the next game, man. We got and I'm looking at injuries in this. I know Frank was ruled out pretty much, or he's doubtful for the Knicks. No Dennis Smith Jr. That's done really. Does he even play in the NBA anymore? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? I don't even know who DSJ is anymore. But Marcus Morris as well sitting out for the Knicks. Hadn't really made a difference these past couple games. I can't say though. They just beat the Heat over there at the house. They was, you know what I'm saying, they probably too ecstatic after that. Could be a letdown for the Knicks after a huge win like that. You see the Bucks, they giving them no respect whatsoever. We're gonna go and rest Robert Lopez tonight. We ain't worried about we get this dub. We probably rest Giannis if we want to, and still go and smack them if we want. They already beat them twice. This year, 132-88 and 123-102 in New York as well. So the Bucks have showed that they've had absolute no problems with the Knicks this year. They land 16 and a half, 17 here, man. You taking the points with the Knicks in this spot, Junior?
You know, it's funny. I have to admit that, like on the show, I've always said that if you're going to get into the business of betting these monster spreads, you're probably going to lose more than you win. But in this case, I just think the Knicks are so trash. Like you just named, look how many injuries you just named. The guys that are coming off their bench have not been doing a job all season. They're just not talented enough to withstand that many losses to their key players. And when I say key players, everybody on this, they're one of the few teams where like everybody gets double-digit minutes. You know what I'm saying? They don't have like a short rotation like good teams do. But I just think that this Knicks team, the way it's constructed, it's just the Bucks are like their worst nightmare. The Bucks, first of all, are winning their games against everybody in the league by an average of 12 points. I don't like to lay big double-digit points, but I'll lay 6. I swear to God, I would lay 16.5 points even if Giannis is not playing. I think the Knicks are that bad.
I don't know. That's a little too far. You're going a little too far.
No, it's not.
A tad too, because they do got Boston on deck too. You know what I'm saying? It could be a look-ahead spot. Right. Just a tad too far.
So hold on. I'm going to tell you why it's not a look-ahead spot, and because I thought of that. The reason I don't think it's a look-ahead spot is because if you look at the Bucks' last 5 home games, they've won 5 straight home games, right? But their offense in those home games is something like in the teens. It's not even top 10 in the league. It's just the fact that they play such lockdown defense that, you know, they just keep winning these home games against, you know, not the biggest or not the best opponents out there. I just think that they can't afford to come into this game taking it for granted if they want to beat Boston 2 nights later. They got to get their mojo back on offense at home, then take care of Boston. They're not in a position to overlook the Knicks. I mean, I know that sounds stupid to say, but I think they're going to put the 3rd straight beat down on these Knickerbockers.
Yeah, I can see it. What you got, Jordan, in this game? You got to look on the total in this spot?
No, not on the total of this one. This one's a little tougher. I think the total is actually pretty sharp on this one because I think the Knicks giving up like 125 points in their last 5 games. Like the Bucks could just absolutely wipe the floor with them. It could be like an all-star game for them. I want to touch on something Junior said. He said he'd bet 16.5 if Giannis was out. To be honest, like I, they do have Boston on deck. Like, are we going to see a late injury or the late injury scratch for the Bucks and see this line
I
move
was
down?
just
Because I'm
thinking
kind
about
of
that.
hoping that happens because I'll still lay the points, to be honest, tonight. I'm not doing it at 16.5 and 17 because, like Junior said, there's just no point really. That you're just asking for trouble. But I mean, Giannis ruled out. This team's down 4 or 5 points. Are we jumping in? I'm absolutely doing that
Nah, it ain't
if
gonna
that happens.
steam.
Now
It
I don't
ain't
think
gonna
it's going to
steam,
steam down that much, but
especially
still, like
especially with the Bucks looking well without Giannis. If he was ruled out in
I,
all seriousness, it might go down a point and a half. I say 2 points max, but
yeah,
just for
it's
the
not
simple
going to go
fact
down
Yo,
that
too
Jay,
much. Yeah.
I
they've
agree
been
with Jay.
busting
I agree with
they've
Jay
been busting
because in
teams'
the last
ass
couple of games,
without Giannis.
Bledsoe's been scoring. Everybody on that team gets the job done, bro. They're not just relying on Giannis. You know what I mean? Like the last game, Giannis, Middleton, and Bledsoe combined for like 90 points, bro. Like that team is dangerous.
Yeah, they're dangerous, man. Yeah, you're right. They better get some mojo before they go and play the Celtics, man. It's gonna be a huge game. You still always have to be weary versus team with a huge game like that on deck. You still have to. I mean, because like I always say, you can be up by 20. We know the NBA. You can be up by 20 points in the third quarter. And when the Bucks are a very deep team, but still, when you just don't care about a game and you already looking towards the next one, and this game is in hand, and you already got the dub, you ain't worried about no damn spread, man. I mean, they could literally cut to 15. You wouldn't give a shit. I mean, if they get inside double digits, I mean, inside single digits, you might call a timeout. But for the most part, they gonna get the dub, man. It's gonna go down the win column. You know what I'm saying? Regular season game go down as a dub, man. So I don't like the fact that they got Celtics on deck. It's just that simple. It's that simple, man. But the Knicks are an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, maybe if they had Morris, other guys in here, but like I said, they did just beat the Heat without him. It was at the house. We know that Heat not the same team on the road. The last 4 games that the Knicks played on the road in a little road trip, they went 1-3 ATS. So I still wouldn't be in a hurry to go and bet them. And like I say, it's just if the Bucks are interested in this fight, they can name the score. They've shown that they could blow them out by 30 with ease. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to the next game, man. Nothing huge for me on that one. Be interesting to see if it is some late injuries, though. You guys make some damn good points with that. Let's get to the next game. We got we got the Mavs, man. My team versus the Warriors. The Warriors don't even care about this season anymore. The boys are 9-32 through the halfway of the season. I'm gonna have to go back and find some of the retweets and I share. Well, I told y'all that the Warriors was not gonna be the same. People dragged me up and down, man. So and so, Clay's coming back at some point. Well, I told him there's one injury. I wasn't wishing on them, but I told him they was one injury away from being the worst team in the league. And what do you see happen? Curry went down, and oh boy, these boys have. I'm gonna have to go back and find those tweets. People call me crazy for saying the Warriors gonna be sorry this year. They swore up and down Clay was coming back. You're not gonna see Clay this year, man. I'm telling you, bro. Boys, he probably finna start tanking if anything. And Porzingis practiced yesterday. I know he questioned, but if you like the Mavs, man, you hop on. I think that Porzingis might potentially come back tonight, man. Like he practiced in full yesterday. Like you say, he's questionable. They need him back. I know they haven't been playing well lately. I know they on the road here, laying 8 points. But I'm not betting the Warriors here, man. Even though getting 8 points at the house, it's still Mavs or nothing for me. And like I say, if Porzingis comes back, I really think that's going to be a huge boost for the Mavs. They'll try to kick the Warriors down. Try to kick them when they're down every single time, man. Jordan Poole is questionable in this spot. Still no Looney. Lee, you know what I'm saying, is not going to play this game, which he's not a huge deal. But Poole is somewhat of a, you know what I'm saying, deal for the Warriors. Even though Draymond's been playing, they still hadn't really been showing too much heart to me as well. You know, like I say, I need Porzingis back, man. I know the Mavs, they've been kind of sort of falling off a little bit, but they got to get back. You got to get Porzingis. You got to win these type of games by convincing fashion, man. You got anything on this game, Jordan?
I'm kind of conflicted on this game. The Warriors do have some issues tonight. Damian Lee's kind of in like contract limbo. He hasn't signed his new deal yet, so he's probably not going to play. So you have to insert Alec Burks in the starting lineup, like you said. Poole looks like he's questionable. So it's like there, and you don't know the Kristaps factor. I think Porzingis is probably going to sit though, considering they have a game tomorrow at Sacramento, and they could wipe the floor with Golden State with or without Porzingis. So I don't think they're. I am nothing. You know, obviously he did practice yesterday, which is huge. But they're in the midst of like 5 games in 8 days, and they're starting a 3-game and 4-night stretch right now. I just don't see them playing him tonight in a game they could win pretty easily. So that's my thought on that. So when I think that, I think, oh, well, the Warriors plus the points may be pretty good. But then, like you said, man, they have absolutely zero incentive to win right now. I wrote this in my my pick article on this game at SBR.com, and I'm on the first half of the Warriors here +4, hoping that Porzingis does not play. Because I think the Warriors are in basically a position right now to where they're going to go out and play really well in the first 24 minutes and then absolutely just let their foot off the gas in the second half and start to tank this season, because they're in the Spurs, David Robinson, Tim Duncan era, 1996, where they're hoping they can get a top lottery pick with their players being hurt all year. That's the, they're a great team. They have their core 4 locked down, but man, this year's, like you said, it's been absolutely disappointing with all the injuries and stuff. So I think they could hang with the Dallas if Kristaps isn't in the first half. I think at home, even with some of their guard depth being a little banged up tonight, they get Russell. They have Russell back, obviously. That really helps their offense. Their offense has been absolutely terrible without him. With Draymond back, their defense has actually been pretty good over the last 5 games. Hasn't been bad by any means, especially in the first half of games. So that's kind of why I'm on the 4 points in the first half. But I'm really hoping Porzingis doesn't play, because if he does play, that would kind of make me feel a little bad about my play right now. But so far, I think Kristaps is going to sit this one out, though. That's just my hunch at this point.
Yeah, shit, the Warriors, they should be pissing. So the Mavs have covered the past 6 meetings versus the Warriors. The 2 meetings this year, man, the Mavs smacked them 142 to 94 and 141 to 121. You know what I'm saying? In Golden State. So be interesting to see here tonight, man. What you got for me, Junior?
Yeah, I mean, literally the last thing you just said is the reason I've been on this game. I watched those games. It's just a really bad. Like, first of all, okay, so Jordan made the point in the last game that we covered, the Memphis Houston game, that without Westbrook, nobody on Houston could really stop John Morant. Even at full strength, nobody on Golden State can stop Luka Doncic. I mean, that sounds stupid to say because he's been terrorizing the entire league, but he just gets baskets for his team anytime he wants against this Golden State team. I took the Mavs first half full game. And the Mavs, interestingly enough, are a much better team on the road than they are at home. They're 12-5 on the road. Pretty sure they're 12-5 ATS also. And statistically, they score more points, grab more rebounds, get more assists, more steals, more blocks, and commit less turnovers on the road. I mean, I don't see why they won't destroy Golden State tonight. I mean, obviously Golden State is the home team, so anything can happen. But the evidence that we've seen so far, the Mavs are beating Golden State by an average of 34 points a game. So I'm going to ride with that wave right now.
Exactly. Yeah, you could be on to something there. One, I don't like that the Mavs have been covering spreads lately. They own 6 ATS last 6 following the ATS following an ATS win, and they're 1-7 ATS's last 8 games following a straight up win. So they hadn't really been putting it together back to back. I don't like the fact last time in Golden State they had Luka and Porzingis, and it was close in the first half, and exactly what Jordan said. They got outscored 45-24 in that third quarter, and then just took off from there. So Mavs are light years better than the Warriors. They should want to put another one on them here. I guess you'd say that with the 8.5, it is pretty tough without Porzingis if he doesn't play in this spot. Jordan makes a damn good point. Could technically be, double revenge for the Warriors, but they just don't seem. I mean, they've lost the last 7, 8 straight games. They don't even seem like they're in it anymore. They don't even care, bro. You're 9-32 halfway through the season. Can we just end right here and the season be okay? Well, can I go to the house already, man? I know Draymond, man, all that shit he likes. I kind of like seeing this shit, man. Them boys talk big shit past 4 years, whooping on everybody. Past 5 years. And now you're fucking 9-32 at the halfway of the season, man. I just think that's hilarious. I really do. But let's get to the next game, man. We got the Cavs versus the Clippers. Another game, man. The Clippers land 15 here without PG. We know that they could name the score here. The Cavs, I don't think they'll be too interested in this game. Last night they were actually kind of interested in the first half. Second half they just let it go. This one could be continuation of the second half. Just let it go. Don't like the way the Clippers just sometimes they one of the main teams. It just sometimes we don't really care. It's all right. We'll win by 2. We might lose by 15. We don't really care. What you got? Junior?
I don't like the way that the Clippers look right now, to be honest. I don't like their whole attitude. I don't like the way they play defensively. So I'm just gonna be quick. I wouldn't lay this many points with them right now until I see some improvement in the way that they're playing. I know the Cavaliers are a horrendous basketball team, but am I realistically going to lay 16.5 with the Bucks and then 15.5 with the Clippers on the same night? Of course, I'm not going to do that. So I just pass on this game.
Yeah, and as good as the Clippers are, 0-4 ATS last 4 games, and they just hadn't been really taking their opponents seriously, man. So they're the main ones, the tricky ones to lay the 15. Well, at least the Bucks, you know what I'm saying, they can come out and win by 20 on accident. It's crazy because the Clippers aren't really that type of team. They're really not right now. They're not. So what you got, Jordan?
Yeah, I feel like I could walk into a casino right now and just put $100 or whatever on a single number in roulette and have a higher EV than trying to figure out what the hell to do with this game. Like I can't. The 15 points off a team who's coming off, like you said, a back-to-back in their third game in 4 nights is absolutely horrendous against a team that just doesn't look like they give two shits about the regular season at all. Which I mean, they shouldn't really, especially not at this point of the regular season in January. But I mean, like, yeah, you're absolutely gambling if you bet on this game. I feel like there's zero value that I'm looking at right now in this one, so I am staying very far away from it.
Yeah, 4th game of a long road trip for the Cavs, man. They won the first 2, interesting to say, and it was great. I mean, they were 3-0 ATS in the last 3 games before yesterday. Then they went and get smacked by 30 in the fourth quarter. This is a back-to-back spot, 4th game of a 6-game road trip. In theory, it's a smash spot for the Clippers. Remember, I said it yesterday. In theory, and they're off a loss as well versus the Nuggets. So you would think, and they're 0-4 ATS last 4 games, but you would think that they would come back here with if they care, if the Clippers care. You know what I'm saying? They should smash the Cavs by 20 points tonight. But it's like it's tough because, like Junior said, they just lately how they've been looking, they just don't care. But they are off a loss though, so they should have some sort of motivation here. The Cavs, they don't really. I mean, they got up to play LeBron, maybe not so much to play Kawhi over there, especially without PG. We'll see if Lou Williams and Harrell can come off the bench with their fire. If they come with it tonight, they can blow these boys out and name the score. Jordan, go ahead and let them know what your plays of the day are, my guy.
Yeah, I got one official right now, 107.5 on the over on Utah and Brooklyn, and then I'm really the only other thing that I'll probably end up definitely jumping on is the Grizzlies if we get some positive injury news on that. That's really the only 2 I'm looking at tonight.
I like it. What you got for me, Junior?
Yeah, I'm laying a lot of points tonight, but I'm just really fading 2 of the worst teams in the NBA playing against 2 of the best teams in the NBA. I got Bucks first half full game, Mavs first half full game. Bucks the spreads are a bit ridiculous. The first half is -10, full game is -16.5. Mavs -4 first half, -8 full game.
Yeah, that shit crazy, man. I would rather lay that shit with Ohio State tonight, man. In college basketball, they won they lost 4 straight games and they land 17.5 to Nebraska, and it's still one of them spots where you might want to smash Ohio State. It's a total get right spot versus a bad team, man. And it's the same thing. They land 10 in the first half and it's 17.5 for the full game, man. I hadn't got there, but I did take Mississippi State -2.5. It's a bad matchup for Missouri, in my opinion. I know Mississippi State has screwed me off already, but Witherspoon better come to play tonight. Their bigs need to come to play versus Missouri. I think they can get it done. It went down to 2.5 from 3.5. I appreciate it. I like that 2.5, man. And I did take Central Michigan as well, +9 in college basketball. I might hop on some more. I'm looking at VCU +8, +8.5 as well. I don't think that if Toppin do play, man, I don't think it'll be 100%. He was in an ankle boot. He was in a boot the last game, man. So I mean, they might try to force him to have him play. I don't think he'll be 100%. VCU coming off a loss, getting 8 points. It's going to be a dogfight tonight, man. I think VCU to play. And it's crazy because I might get there with the Hawks tonight, +3 or the money line. I might get the Suns, man. They do not look right now. Now they without their start point guard, man. If Trey, I'm going to do some more research. If Trey going to be coming, if you're going to come to play tonight, I think the Hawks could possibly play. And I might have to hop on the Grizzlies as well, man. If Clark and Crowder in there, the Grizzlies +5 is looking like a bargain at the house the way they've been playing, man. And I wanted to get there with the Clips. It is, you know what I'm saying, coming off a loss, but I don't know. I think Nance might play for the Cavs tonight. Be interesting. They might. It's a back-to-back. You got to keep up with these injuries, man. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Love or Thompson ruled out here for the Cavs. It's a tough spot for them, man. It is. That's all. That's all for today's show, man. Not really much, you know what I'm saying, on this NBA card, but we still gonna try to find some winners. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back tomorrow, man. We appreciate y'all for jamming it with J Money, man. Leche, Alos Bookmakers.